For many of us growing up in the 90s, Rajat Sharma's Aapki Adalat was synonymous to watching the news. In his own words, Mr. Rajat Sharma had a humble upbringing in New Delhi. In a summit at IIT Bombay, he said that, since there was no electricity in our room, I used to study at the Sabzi Mandi railway station during night times where there was light. We used to sleep in shifts as there was no space for everyone in a small 50 by 50 room. I was watching one of his interviews where he said that when he was young, his family had no TV at home. So he had to go to his neighbor's place to watch TV. One such night, he returned disappointed because his neighbors didn't let him in. So he spoke to his father, who said, "You should do something to ensure you appear on television and people watch you." That indeed did happen. Mr. Sharma has charted an incredible journey to our TV sets. He became widely popular as a sharp, relentless, and an unbiased journalist. As a host of Aapki Adalat, which has been one of the longest running TV shows in India, he is the chairman and the editor-in-chief of India TV, which is one of the top 3 Hindi news channels in the country. His journey culminated in 2015 in him receiving the Padma Bhushan in the hands of Mr. President Pranab Mukherjee. And in 2016, he won the prestigious Indian Television Academy Award for Best Hindi News Channel. Today, we shall host an Aapki Adalat of a different kind, where Mr. Rajat Sharma will be debating, discussing, and defending Indian media and the freedom of speech. We have a small audiovisual to start with, sir.
नमस्कार, आपकी अदालत में आपका स्वागत है। जैसे यहाँ लोग मोदी मोदी कर रहे हैं, हर जगह अब नीतीश जी का मैंने भाषण सुन रहा था, वो कह रहे हैं कि ये मोदी ने अपनी हवा क्रिएट कर दी है, कोई लहर नहीं है। कैसे हवा बनती है? मैसेज आया, ट्विंकल ट्विंकल लिटिल स्टार, अब की बार मोदी सरकार।
पहले तो मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करना चाहूँगा आपका और आपकी अदालत का कि आप लोगों ने मुझे फिर से यहाँ पे 18 साल के बाद आमंत्रित किया है।
जज साहब, आप सुने और जनता सुन ले। मैं एक पेड़ के नीचे अपनी अम्मी और जुनैद के साथ बैठा गेम खेल रहा हूँ और शाहरुख मेरे पाँव चाट रहा है।
मैं एक दिन रोया नहीं। मैं रोया भी इसलिए हूँ कि मैं अकेला पड़ गया।
अजीत पवार अपने आसपास पुलिस का घेरा हटा के आए तो अपने पैरों पर चलकर वापस नहीं जाएंगे।
जी बिल्कुल कहा था।
क्यों मारने मरने की बातें क्यों करते हैं आप इतनी?
नहीं है, जिनके बारे में मैं बोलता हूँ उनकी औकात ही वैसी होती है। अभी क्या करूँ मैं?
जब आप पर इल्जाम लगे भ्रष्टाचार के तो आप बहुत नाराज हो गए।
अगर आपको ये ऐसा लगता कि मैं सचमुच अपना आपा खो जाऊंगा या नाराज हो जाऊंगा तो आप इतने पास नहीं खड़े होते।
तभी थोड़ा सा डिस्टेंस मैंने रखा है। कैटरीना कैफ ने जो कहा था वो आपको बता देता हूँ।
जी सर।
उन्होंने कहा कि जो कुछ इंडस्ट्री में हूँ सलमान के बदौलत हूँ।
सर वो झूठ नहीं बोलती।
आपकी अदालत मेरे सवालों से नहीं बना, आपकी अदालत आपके जवाबों से बना।
मैं रजत जी को बहुत सालों से जानता हूं। एक सामान्य परिवार में पैदा हुआ। ये देश की विशेषता देखिए कि अपने परिश्रम से एक इंसान कहां से कहां पहुंच सकता है। रजत उसका उदाहरण है।
I am indeed very happy to be present on this happy occasion, and please do not change your role you be the public prosecutor of the people of India. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
ये शायद देश के इतिहास में पहला मौका है कि 3 खान एक साथ।
श्री रजत शर्मा, साहित्य एवं शिक्षा।
It's because of this. It's such an incredible honor to have Mr. Rajat Sharma amongst us today. Thank you for being here, sir.
Friends, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me here. 2 reasons for that. One, when I look at you, I think of my life. All of you are so fortunate, privileged, that you got an opportunity to be in an institution like this, a world-class institution. As Himakshi was saying, I did not get a chance to go to a institution like this. I started my life. I come from very ordinary background. I studied in an ordinary municipal school. There were hardly any teachers or hardly any blackboard. Somebody paid for my books. Somebody donated me uniform. Himakshi said 50 by 50, no, it was a 10 by 10 room in Old Delhi, in the dingy little lane on the 3rd floor. We just had 10 people in that home, 7 brothers, sister, mother, and ailing father. 10 people in a 10 by 10 room. There was no electricity in the house. There was no water in the house. We used to go in the street to bathe and bring 2 buckets of water for sister and mother. Didn't have food for many days. I first time heard the name of United States of America when I was 5-6 years old. America used to send powder milk for the poor in India. We used to stand in the queue, come home with those packets, boil that powder, and for many days that used to be our diet. So thank you very much for giving me this honor. It's a long journey. So I studied in Shri Ram College of Commerce, a great institution, world-class institution. This is where this changed my life. But today is a very, very special day in my life. Not one because I'm here in front of you. Also, this day, 23 years ago, changed my life. On this day, I recorded first show of Aapki Adalat in 1992. I've had the privilege for 23 years running this show, which has been, got so much of love, affection of people from my country, all over the world, wherever Indians are. 23 years, the show has been top-rated show week after week. I've had the privilege of inviting political leaders, film stars, cricket stars, celebrities, ask them questions, grill them, as some say. But I've always asked them questions which public wanted to know. As an editor, somebody would say you ask them about nuclear disarmament, ask them about the international policies, but no.
I've kept this show a people's show, and that's why people have loved it. And no one who has been on the show all these 23 years complained. First time, there was a show where we made the political leaders, celebrities, film stars accountable to what they were doing. And this probably is the media trial. And why not? People who have come on the show, they never complained. Public loved it. They've been watching it week after week. And that's why I always say, if there has to be a media trial, this is the way it should be. Ask questions without fear, without bias, without thinking twice. But there are people who have complaints with media trial. This is what we keep hearing all the time. We hear it from political leaders. We hear it in the court cases. We hear it at various forums. India is complaining about media trial. Who are these people? Who are these people who don't want to be tried? I'll give you a few examples. It was 2 years ago, I think March 2014. One leader who is now the Chief Minister of Delhi, he said, this video became public, and those who don't know, he used media to become what he is. Media supported when he started this war. It was called war against corruption, it was called war for people's rights, it was called war against the present political system. But it was interesting that after he became a leader, what he had to say about the media. And I quote, he said that entire media is sold out. Let me just give you the exact quote. Yes. Actually, I had written a long speech, but I thought, while talking to you, when I met some students here, they asked me questions. They said, we've been waiting since morning. A lot of Indians I met once I came to the campus. I decided I'll speak from my heart. I'll just tell you what I feel, and I will not go by what I written, the written text. I was talking about the Chief Minister of Delhi. March 15, 2014, he said, the whole media is sold out. It is a big conspiracy. If our government comes to power, we'll set up an inquiry against media for promoting Modi, and all such media people will be sent to jail. Now, February 3, 2015, almost a year later, what Prime Minister Modi says, polls, surveys, opinion polls, they were not favorable to BJP that time. He said a conspiracy has been hatched by the Bazaru log in media. Media has been bought to mislead the country with such surveys. What kind of people they are, they have no place in the history, they have no place in public life. And then, more recently, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, He said, all of you have been bought by Modi. All of you are stooges of Modi. Don't be scared. When we come into power, we will not treat you like this. I don't know whether they will ever come to power. And there is more. One minister in the present government, he called media prostitutes. And I can give you more and more quotes and more examples like this. All such statements made me very worried. And I thought, what has happened to the politicians in India? And I thought, why are they saying things like this? And then came champion of champions against media, Mr. Trump, who said, all media is sold out, exactly what Kejriwal had said. They are the most dishonest people on the earth, exactly what others have said. And he told the CNN reporter, your organization is terrible, you are fake. And in India, politicians said it once, they realized probably they corrected themselves, but he says it every day. So I think the challenge is before the American media, not before the Indian media. That way we, quite comfortable. We don't have a Trump with us. I think the problem with the political leadership, this is happening all over the world, where media is being bashed, because first they use the media. They use the media to get the position of power, and when they are in the position of power, they abuse the media. This exactly is the challenge. This exactly which I've been feeling. All these years, when I've invited people for my show, I've asked them questions. When Amir Khan came, he was in great controversy. He had said that his wife said that she should leave India because India has become intolerant. He came for the show. I asked him. He very happily answered, explained. When Narendra Modi came for the show, I asked him the most difficult questions which he had to answer. I asked him, if you become Prime Minister, you think the Muslims in India will have to fear? He said, no, everyone will have the same rights. And he said that sabka saath, sabka vikas, very first time he said that everyone has to participate in the development of the country. I asked him, there is a political leader, I don't know how many of you have heard, there's a man called Azam Khan, there's a leader from UP. I asked Modi that Mr. Azam Khan is saying, he said that in Hindi, kutte ke pille ke bade bhai, that elder brother of a puppy. So to this, that time Narendra Modi said, tell him, dog is the most faithful animal, and I will be faithful to the people of this country. Difficult questions are asked. People have no difficulty in answering them, provided the intention is right. Provided you are not biased, provided you are balanced, provided you are fearless. In last few years, things have changed, and not only in India, they have changed all over the world. Media has become the favorite punching bag, not only for the politicians, not only for the leaders, even for the film stars. All of you, especially those who have connected to India, would know that there are film stars. When their film is about to be released, they are the best friends, flying kisses to the journalists, cutting cakes with the reporters, because they want publicity. They even leak out scandals of their life that time. But once the film is released, After that, they are nowhere to be seen. And if somebody writes anything about their personal life, then they complain, it is an infringement of my personal freedom. There are actresses we have seen who would do a photo session, invite the media, invite TV journalists, because I have lost some weight, my size 0, please do a story on this. And after a few years, if she has gained 2 inches, she has gained 5 pounds, and somebody does a story that she has become fat again, she says, you know, it is an infringement on my personal freedom and life. Don't do this. This intolerance against media has grown. I have always fought for the freedom of the press. I have always stood with my friends in media because I realize they have been doing their job in very, very difficult circumstances. It's not easy. Politicians are lambasting you. Film stars are complaining against you. Day after day, somebody or the other, some of the lawyer friends who are sitting here, they will agree with me. Big-time lawyers who fight for the freedom of the press, when they are paid by a criminal, they are fighting a case in the court, they will stand up and say, "My lord, restrain these journalists from reporting about this case." And this probably has been one of the most unfortunate things. I remember Jessica Lal murder case. The murderer, who was the son of a very, very powerful politician, who lot of money, lot of power, he almost was acquitted till media took up the case. Till media started going and exposing witness after witness who were bought. Till media started telling the public how the documents were changed. Trial was reopened, man was convicted for life. And if this is media trial, I think every day there should be a media trial. We remember the famous case of Nirbhaya. Jyoti Pandey was her original name, who was brutally raped in Delhi in a bus. If media had not taken up the case the way it did, if there was no media trial, those accused would have gone scot-free. There's a lady called Neelam Katara, young son of hers, was murdered by a politician, a criminal, who has hundreds of murder cases, kidnapping, rape cases against him. His son did it. If media would not have stood by Neelam Katara, she would have not got justice. And even now, those boys are in jail. Still, every second day, they are out on parole, and she fights against them. This has been the fight of media, and the fight against very, very powerful people. One of these people I am mentioning, I invited him for my show. And I definitely asked him very uncomfortable questions. I was didn't want to give him a chance. He explained everything, he spoke, but after the show was over, he told me that I might have killed 100 people and you could be the 101st. This is the kind of people that we find, and I can tell you the result of this kind of campaign which media has run is now any political party, before taking help of a criminal, before fielding a criminal as a candidate, they think twice. Last week I was in Lucknow. I had the Chief Minister of Lucknow, Akhilesh Yadav, who is now fighting for the UP Chief Ministership once again. During the show, he said that media has taught us this, media has told us this. If we take help from the criminals, if we take help from people who are powerful people, who have cases against them, people are not going to support us. Media is going to go after us. And these are not easy things to do in India. These are not easy things for the media to fight for. And I'm very happy that media in India has fought against these criminals. And every second day, big lawyers, including my friend Ram Jethmalani, one of the most respected lawyers in India, when he takes up cases of these criminals, now not very many cases he takes up, he's very old, but many times he has stood up in court and said that, I don't want newspapers and TV channels to report it. Fortunately, most of the times, the judiciary has said no, this has to be reported. And recently, last week, this case had come up in the Supreme Court where the present Chief Justice has asked police and media, and should there be some rules. It is not only the judiciary, it is not only the lawyers, not only the politicians, it is not only even people who are in public life, people who are celebrities, NGOs, they also have complaints. The question that comes to my mind is that is there something that media is doing which we are not aware of, people in media? Is there something wrong somewhere? And my answer comes from what people in this country thinks, the public feels. We have, I must share this with you. Almost 20 years ago, I had the privilege of starting the first private news bulletin in India. Before that, it was only Doordarshan, which was a government TV. And when we started this private news, 20 years ago, from one bulletin, today it has become 800 news channels in the country. 800 news channels in India. And there are 83,000 newspapers. 83,000 newspapers, 800 news channels. You can imagine the size of media, and you can imagine the kind of consumption India has. You can imagine the number of people who read newspapers and who watch TV. I will be very happy to answer any questions that you have. But before I take questions, I just want to tell you a story which a friend of mine who's a doctor, who told me he was comparing our profession and his profession. He said, every day, people come to me. Who are these people? They are eating samosas on the roadside made in lousy oil. They eat unhygienic food. They drink. They smoke. They eat tobacco as if this is the last day of their life. And the doctor prescribes them a medication. Very seriously, they ask, Dr. Saab, are there any side effects of this? And this is what has been happening to us. People enjoy the news, people watch it, but they ask, are there any side effects to it? I have had the privilege of being part of the first movement against the freedom of expression, which was in 1975. The only time when I think many of you won't know, in 1975, the then government imposed emergency in India. All fundamental rights were suspended. There was censorship on newspapers. I was a 17-year-old student in SRCC that time, collected a group of people, and we started bringing out a cyclo-styled, I don't know how many people still know what cyclo-styling. Those days, cyclo-styling was the only way of taking out many copies. We used to handwrite, cyclo-style, and for the newspaper, we would write the news, and at night, we'll go and distribute this. And when we did this, one day I was caught taking out those cyclo-styling papers by the police, tortured, kept in jail. Almost all opposition leaders were in jail that time. Arun Jaitley, my friend who was in college with us, he spent almost 19 months in jail. A lot of people. Later on, Morarji Desai became Prime Minister. He was in jail. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Advani, all these people were in jail that time, entire opposition. And I was a young student, 17-year-old, and when I was taken to the Tihar jail in Delhi, I was sent to the juvenile ward. Juvenile ward where there were criminals who were not adults. Only after 3 days of spending life in that juvenile ward, I was taken to the political ward, and there I got a chance to meet all these political people. But it was the only time the country has seen actually war against media by the government, and the country fought, and we all know what happened in 1977 when the results came. So as a humble soldier of that war for the freedom of the press, for the freedom of expression, I stand for that right, what I started as a 17-year-old student, and I continue to fight for it, and I promise to you that not only India, all over the world, we will keep fighting for this. If you have any questions, please ask.
Please line up around the 4 mics.
Okay. Can you raise hand?
Hello?
Yeah?
Yes, sir. Hello? Here.
Yeah, hi.
Namaste. Namaste, Padma Bhushan Rajat Sharma ji. My name is Arun Kumar. I hope you remember me. I wrote a handwritten letter to you after you got Padma Bhushan award. You are the main reason why I have developed respect for media in my life. So I would like to thank you for all your unbiased reporting. Thank you. And I drove 5 hours only to see you today to Harvard. My question for you is, in your 20 plus years of experience, because of reporting unbiased coverage, did you ever receive death threats? Because I publish editorials, it's been only a few months, I received some threats already. Albeit not death in nature. So did you receive any threats?
Not many. One I got, which I mentioned just now.
And how did you handle it?
I didn't bother about it. I think, once you are in this profession, you have to be prepared for this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
First of all, thanks for coming here, sir, and it's a very great honor. The question I have is, in your 21 years, do you have a thought, like a particular question that you didn't get a chance to ask? And the second question is, if you get a chance to ask Mr. Trump, what question you will ask?
See, second question first. I would love to have Mr. Trump in Aapki Adalat. And I can tell you, it will be the most interesting show I've ever done. Because whatever it is, he's very interesting, he talks well, and he talks without thinking. Yeah, there's one here.
Good evening, sir, and thank you for your time. I would like to point out a few news stories that India TV did.
Yeah.
And I would like to ask, what are the compulsions of a national news channel to carry such stories? One such story says, UFO ने आसमान में खींच ली गाय. क्या एलियन गाय का दूध पीते हैं? And then there's another story which says, Himesh par hai aliens ki nazar. So I would like to ask, what are the compulsions of India TV to carry such stories on
Yes,
its channel?
India TV did carry these stories. I won't deny that. Yes, we did. There was a time when we carried interesting stories to get ratings. We were really, really down. But I must say that never, we carried interesting stories, but we never made any compromise with the national interest. There was nothing which would go against the public interest. It's not that there is something which is against national interest, you sensitize it and make it interesting. Yes, there was a time such stories were carried, but that was, your information is 6 years old.
Yep.
In last 6 years, we have changed the face of India TV. We have made the change the look of India TV. And all such stories are absolute no. And only the stories which are hard news, they are there. And only stories which are of public interest are there. We changed it completely.
Thank you, sir.
And I admitted this publicly many times.
Rajat, what's your view on this new trend where politicians directly reach out to audiences via social media, bypassing much of the traditional media?
It is those politicians who don't want to answer, who are not accountable. They use Twitter, one-way communication. There is nothing that you can ask them. And, in India, now I'm seeing more and more politicians, they come for a press conference, they make a statement and run away without asking. Same people who were very friendly with media, who used to be sitting with media people day and night, once they become chief minister, once they become ministers, they want to have one-way communication. They don't want to answer. And this is something that we have to fight. We have to make every politician, whether it is Modi or it is Trump, accountable to the public of this world. That's the challenge.
Thank you.
Yes. Your mic is not working. Yeah.
You have talked about media trials, but there is another aspect to media as media investigation and media reporting. And has these two parts of media investigation and reporting come down? Because growing up, we used to get these evening newspapers in Jaipur. They were like solid cover of any local investigation and reporting. But now we only see trials, but no investigative details and reporting on what's happening around.
You see, as I said, there are 83,000 newspapers in India. There are black sheep. There are people who don't investigate properly. But when I talk about national media, whether TV or the newspapers, the level of investigation has really gone up with the new digital devices and with the right to information. The investigation is proper, well done. And now there are agencies, Press Council of India, and for the broadcasting, the Broadcasters Standards Authority, who keep an eye. Any mistake you made, and you are made to apologize. So I would say the standard has really gone up, and it will go up. The TV media, especially very nascent, just 20 years, so it will take a while. But there is a lot of improvement.
Thank you, Rajat. We really appreciate you coming to Boston and spending some time with us. And as I said, 20 years back when we were in India, we used to watch your show, and that's how we grew up. My question is a very straightforward question. What's the role of money and political money in media? I know your TV and some other are doing much ethical reporting, but I've seen your friend Arnab Goswami, right? 5 years back, he was all over bashing BJP and, Modi and everyone. And then a news came that he has 100 crores, Times now has a 100 crore loan or something. And 2 days after, he shows up and he becomes nationalist, right? And his news is now basically pro-Modi and he bashes everyone else. So what happened? Kya ho gaya?
I'll tell you what I believe in. I don't want to comment what others have become. But to me, if you are in media, you have to be free, you have to be unbiased, you have to be fair, and most important, you have to be fearless. should not allow any corporate, any government, any powerful politician, any celebrity, anyone who has money, who has power, who is to put you down. This is most important. I don't want to comment on what Arnab Bhai has done and what he's doing, but I think the people in India, and I think the world over, they love those journalists who believe in being free, fair, and fearless. That's the key.
हेलो रजत जी, हार्वर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी की अदालत में आपका स्वागत है और आपने कहा कि fearless questions पूछे जाएं. Let me ask you a question that is really tough for you maybe. Let's start from your background, sir. You started from the Delhi University, sir, and you were a part of ABVP since from those days. When you were great friends of Jaitley and Vijay Goyal, you were a general secretary there. And then in 1997, you played a very good role in BJP and BSP coalition as well. And before the election as well, Modi ji invited you personally to help Amit Shah to give him a tips in a UP election as well. As we go through the Mr. Shatrughan Sinha statement, I quote him, he's saying that Sharma today is more influential than many minister in the cabinet. He can get a seat in any house, any award because he knows everyone. And in March, Sharma, you were awarded a Padam Bhushan, sir. According to a RTI that was filed by Indian Express, your name was not even in the nominee list, and you got a Padam Bhushan on the based on recommendation of Mr. Jaitley. And again, one more question, sir. When Arvind Kejriwal, he actually filed a defamation, and Arun Jaitley filed a defamation case against Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, you are the person who came forward to help your friend and then say, okay, I am here, and you put an affidavit in the court and saying that you are putting him as a, you give an affidavit in the court saying that my friend is honest and he is nowhere relation with a DDCA scam at all as well. As you go through your all those people, those who are share in your company are Mr. Ambani, Mr. Adani, and the same two personalities are known for putting money in BJP as well. As you see the list of your guests in your 21st anniversary, they were all people available. Mr. Modi, Mr. Sinha, Smriti Irani, all these BJP leaders are present there. So the question is, how would you defend yourself, sir, if somebody say that you are biased, sir? This is the first question. Second question, sir. And here is the second question, sir.
Let me just answer your first question. I'll wait for your second question, no problem. Your first question has 15 questions in it. Let me try remembering all of them. One, you said in Aapki Adalat, all of them there. All of these people were there, 21 years, yes. 21 years of Aapki Adalat was a show where I invited all the people who had appeared on my show during 21 years. Narendra Modi had appeared on my show, Pranab Mukherjee had appeared on my show, Sushil Kumar Shinde had appeared on my show, Shah Rukh Khan had appeared on my show, Amir Khan had appeared on my show, Vijay Mallya had appeared on my show. They were all there. Hema Malini was there if you are interested. Rani Mukherjee was there if you are interested. There were 1,000 people I have invited for my show, and obviously when I celebrated 21 years, so they were all there. Your question about Arun Jaitley. Arun Jaitley I have known for last 44 years. And I don't think in Indian politics, anyone more honest, whose integrity is undoubted. I've seen him for 44 years, not a spot on his life. And when somebody, as a lawyer, for one case he will get 25 lakhs, 20 lakhs. He could earn 1 crore a day. He left all that, joined politics, and then he was being accused of, by Kejriwal and his people for 5,000 rupees, for 10,000 rupees. I thought if I don't come up and stand by him, I will be doing injustice to the people of this country. If I don't stand for Arun Jaitley, who else? There is a man whose intelligence, whose integrity is unchallenged. And I know it from myself. I myself went to him, I told him, there is a defamation case against you, I will stand. And in court, what did I have to say? I had to say, this is how the law is. Mr. Luthra is sitting as a big lawyer in India. I had to go to the court and say, after I heard what Kejriwal had said about Mr. Jaitley, I had doubts about his character. So one of my friends was saying, Acha, your relationship is for 44 years, and after reading one report, you had doubts. But this is how the system is, what I had to say in the court. But the fact is, if I had not stood by Arun Jaitley in that case, if I had not gone to court and said that I believe his honesty and integrity, I think I would have never been able to forgive myself. That's why I went to court. And I will go 100 times if anyone does it against Arun Jaitley. Yeah, one last question. But his 15 questions are left. Just, I'll complete one answer I'll give. It will answer all of you. Yes, I was a student leader. I said it. I've said it hundreds of times. I was in jail during emergency. You completely forgot about that. It is when I'm a student. What is it that I can't be a student leader? And if I was a student leader, what is it that I can't be a journalist? The day I became a journalist, I told my friends, and including Mr. Jaitley, and I just say one anecdote to you. After the demonetization, I had Mr. Arun Jaitley on my show just 2 months ago. And the kind of questions I asked him, everyone, all my friends told him, you have been very unfair. He has been your friend. The kind of questions you asked him, you really were, very, very harsh on him. Only one man, all my friends, all people, everyone said, you really grilled him too much. He didn't deserve this. Only one man who said, no, what you did was right. One man who stood and said, no, it is your right to do this, and this was Arun Jaitley. He said, I really appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, right.
Can you hear me? Okay, so I hope this is not a controversy, and I hope it truly instigates a thought. For the past 45 minutes, everybody has been talking about what's been happening in India, but I didn't hear a single incident related or confined to the southern part of India. And this is not just in this 45 minutes, and this is in all Indian channels that claim to be national media and not regional media. And I want to know what you think about it. All your Aapki Adalat AVs that would put out, every celebrity that came onto your show, every video clipping that comes out is a North Indian star, or a North Indian politician, and a North Indian. And I really feel like someone had to step up and ask this, and I thought this is the right pocket and the right mind sitting here in Harvard that can probably instigate a thought rather than making this a huge, a controversial point. Do you have a comment on why we are not covered in South India? Why national media doesn't cover South India?
We, in fact, if you have complained against India TV, we are a Hindi channel, so we really don't have.
Even we speak Hindi.
But about.
I can understand Hindi.
But if you are talking about the English channels, if you are talking about the national media that you call the English channel, I must tell you, if you put together the viewership of all Hindi channels and all English channels together, Hindi channels are watched 138 times of the English channels.
Okay.
So very minuscule.
So we're not worthy of business?
No, I didn't get worthy of business meaning what?
Well, you're saying that the viewership is coming.
No,
because
I'm saying one. I'm saying about the, and see, I think your complaint is not really exactly right. If you have watched Indian channels during last 10 days,
yeah,
from morning till evening,
yeah,
they have been talking about Shashikala and Panir Selvam.
All right.
And actually, Okay, Acha, now I think my wife, she directs the show. She's corrected me here. She's saying you are talking about Aapki Adalat.
No. I mean,
in Aapki Adalat also, I'll tell you the South Indian people who have been there. Jayalalitha, when she was Chief Minister, I went, she didn't want to come to Delhi, to our studios. I went all the way to Chennai. We recorded a show with her. She came with her own chair, and she came after middle of the night saying, how many steps I have to walk in. She rehearsed that show. And A. Raja, and also G.K. Mupnar. I can give you, and all these people, Jayalalitha, G.K. Mupnar, A. Raja, all these people refused to speak Hindi. Still, I had them on my show.
Well,
so I've been absolutely
my
fair
complaint
to
is
South
definitely not against Aapki Adalat, general national Indian media, but thanks for answering.
Yeah, General, I think you have to watch the channels now. Last 10 days, I can tell you, I have been watching. It's all over. Just the Tamil Nadu politics, that's it. And people in North India are saying, oh, now you are not showing about us. There's one question there.
I have a follow-up question with regards to the same previous question.
We really need to.
You need to wind up.
Sir.
We are closing remarks. If that's okay.
Okay.
Maybe one last
Sir,
question without mic.
yeah.
One last question without mic.
No, without mic, no.
Sir,
with mic. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Mic. Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Sharma, thank you very much for taking my question. It's a privilege to hear you speak. I've been a New Yorker for 23 years, but the 23 years before I spent in Mumbai and watched your show often, so I'm a big fan. My question is, and I humbly submit that we are all now in the present environment in America appreciating freedom of speech more than ever. And I would humbly submit that what's important is not freedom during speech, but freedom immediately after the speech. I continue to be very disheartened that despite India being the world's largest democracy, freedom of speech seems to be scarce, except in the hands of fearless journalists like you. But when the common citizen speaks up, it's always under fear that he or she is going to offend some sensitivity out there, some communal sensitivity, some religious. How do you think, and what would you recommend for India, where we can have the same robust freedom of speech and freedom after the speech that we are fortunate to enjoy in the United States? Thank you.
I disagree with you that there is no freedom of speech in India. Most people feel there is too much freedom in India. And everyone is allowed to say what they want to. There's no one stopping you. Absolutely not. People speak against Prime Minister, President, judiciary, even against media. Every day, everyone, every moment. I don't think that they really need to do anything. If anything needs to be done is just to discipline a little more. Yeah. So thank you very much for listening to me.